was that sound though? Like I don't know. Hey guys, so I had a day one footage where I actually read that first 150-ish pages, but I lost that. Instead, I got the footage where I had from like 219 onwards. At this point, I don't know if anything else is missing yet. This is just what I've just noticed right now. I do apologize. And I also lost my intro clip, so I'm going to redo that real quick for you guys. So basically, this video is for my Spookathon vlog. I announced my TBR, I think it was like last week or something, and I decided I was going to read It by Stephen King, and that was my main priority because I knew it, without the readathon, without announcing it, I felt as if it was just too intimidating otherwise. Whereas if I dedicate an entire week to it, like, I will allow myself to actually sit and read it and make myself read it. And hopefully the plan having been that I would get really into it and then it'd be perfect. Like, I wouldn't feel overly rushed. I'd have a whole week because when I like a book, I just can read a ton. And I skip TV. Like, it's pretty simple. Things did not go according to plan on that end. But basically this vlog is about me reading it. It's about me reading The Rules of Magic, and I think I didn't do a wrap-up on my third and final book, which is Mapping the Interior, but I will add that in as well. So there's a lot of stuff that basically I half-assed in this video. I do apologize, but hey, at least it's 1 week to the day since my last video. Whatever. We're improving. We're trying to do better. We're failing. See ya, bye. Alright, so I know my bangs aren't straight yet, whatever, but I'm reading it, and I literally was like, this isn't scary, like, it's supposed to be a scary scene, I'm not scared yet, I'm like, I'm so tough, and then there's, like, this creaking sound, like, I literally just, like, froze, and then, like, this other sound came up, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Okay, I've got this, like, I'm good, I swear, but I don't know what the sound was, like, alright, anyway, yeah, I'll check back in when I've gotten further. What was that sound, though? Like, I don't know. Okay, I'm okay, it's fine, we're fine, it's fine, I'll check back in later. Hello, so we are home at last. It's been a long day. As far as my book goes, I'll give you that update. Still reading it, obviously. It's a beast. Oh, God. Okay, so basically, I'm finally past the info dump period of this book, which, in my opinion, lasts way too long. This book could use some trimming. I'm around page 500 or so at this point. My goal for tonight is to get to like 600, maybe 650, I don't know yet. But if I keep on pace, I should finish the whole book within the 5 days I had allotted to it. Because then I can read Mapping the Interior and like, I'd be good for like all of Spookathon, like my entire TBR. But I also still have like The Rules of Magic that I really wanted to finish because I hadn't finished it before Spookathon started. So like, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But the book so far, it's not that scary, to be honest. Like, there's parts that are scary, like, it's creepy, and it's, I don't know, like, the imagery is gross, and I still feel like I don't want to see the movie, because I feel like seeing it on screen would make it scarier, but I think maybe I'm just not the type that's scared by books. I don't know, I kind of figured I was, because I've always seen myself as a massive wuss. I'm like confused. Maybe it's gonna get worse as the book goes on. I don't know. Maybe it'll end up scary. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. Is there anything more fall than flannel? Like, oh, it feels so much cozier now. All right, back to the book. All right, so I just ate some dinner. I got really tired, like, while I was reading. The book has definitely picked up. it's gotten to the point where it's like interesting. I'm getting really into it and I want to know what's gonna happen, but I'm like tired now. I'm so tired because I'm like reading so much today to make up for the fact that I didn't really read much yesterday. I only read like 100 pages last night when I was supposed to read like 250. Like that was the goal, was like 250 a day. And I was off by so much. So I was like playing catch up and then continuing to read more now. So I'm tired as anything. I'm still waiting to get more creeped out. Like the awareness is still there. Like I'm noticing every little weird sound my apartment makes by a lot. And there's definitely a moment where I looked around and was like expecting to see like a creepy clown. But that's not while I'm reading the book. Like it's after, because it's like in my head. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work. Like, you guys tell me. If you're watching this, I'm gonna guess that you like scary stuff. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm literally, hold on, I'm gonna grab it so y'all can see it. But basically, where the hell am I? All right, I'm this far in. If you could see like the thickness of it, like obviously it's the side that I've already read. This is everything I have left. I'm almost halfway through. So there is that. That's good news. But we have to get further along. Like I'm trying to see just how far I can go tonight. If I get tired again, I'm just gonna switch books. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, I don't know. My mental state is like tired right now. I'm so tired. Anyway, wish me luck. That's almost done, right? Yeah, I'm basically at the end. Back with some more quality content, because that is exactly what y'all are here for. I have now gotten to page 600, so that was kind of like the minimum where I wanted to get. I figured with the sheer volume I've read today, it was fine to just stop it at 600. I'm still not like getting freaked out. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I get that these things would be scary if they like happened in my life, but I'm not particularly fearful for the characters. Like I've felt more fearful with like regular thrillers or like psychological thrillers, like definitely, but so far the clown's not doing it for me. I am noting the amount of sexualization that's happening of the female characters, like even just the random ones, like the amount of times I've read the word nipple in this book, despite it's not a romance. Like why am I reading the word nipple this many times? And I'm like, interesting. And I don't know if that's like a characteristic of the genre or because it's a male author. Like I have no idea. This is my first Stephen King, so I don't know. And most of the authors I read are female authors, so it's just like a weird thing to like note. When it's like happening, I'm just like, why is this here? Like I don't understand. I don't know. I guess maybe my expectations were too high. Like I was just expecting to get super freaked out, and it's not happening. To be honest, like considering how much info dumping was in the beginning, this would have been a book that I might have DNF'd originally. So I really hope that it like comes through in the end, like just being a really phenomenal read, but we'll see. I don't know why I keep using that word when I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but whatever. All right, bye guys. We are back at the Nook. I am taking a break from reading it. I am not enjoying it the way that I thought that I would. I just feel like I'm not that invested in the characters at all. And I've gotten pretty far. Like I'm in the 800s or so right now. So I'm trying to aim for like about 900 before I quit for the night. Yeah, I'm just kind of over it. But now I'm going to switch to reading The Rules of Magic because I haven't finished it yet. Like I'm enjoying it so much more. And yeah. Hi, Micah! So I'm with the Munchkin at the Orchards, and we are here to do a pumpkin ride. Say hi. Are you cold? He's trying to protect his pride because he was fighting me so hard about putting on layers. It's starting. Gotta go. Bye. 1, 2. Okay. So I did finish it. Didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I gave it about 2 stars, to be frank. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. The writing style, while it was good and there were parts where I was super interested, I feel like there's so much stuff that could have been cut out of the book and it would have been fine. Like this is the book that would have worked well at like 600 pages, and you would have had all the buildup you needed, you know? And I know the argument can be made that, you know, the goal was to help you really get to know these characters and really care about this town and care about the people, etc., so forth. But the book I just finished, The Rules of Magic, like, I cared about those characters so much, and the book was under 400 pages. So, yeah. Like, I've read books where I cared about the characters, and the book was barely over 100 pages. So, to me, that's not a reason for the sheer volume of excess information that was in this book. Um, yeah, I wasn't a fan. That was disappointing. I wanted to like it so much. Like, when it was good and when it was interesting, I was so into it. But, like, for the most part, I felt like ugh, like this. I'm glad. I'm glad I read it. Like I'm glad that I conquered that massive book in like just a couple days. Like I read the whole thing in about 5 days or so. But mainly because I was like, okay, I plan on finishing this within this set period of time. I will not take longer, etc. so forth. So like me having that mindset helped that. Like it wasn't anything that I expected it to be or that I was hoping for it to be, unfortunately. But that being said, I did just finish The Rules of Magic, and that book was incredible. It's getting put on my reread list. Like, it was just it was such a gorgeous story. I fell in love with those characters. They were just so real to me, and I love books where you get to see someone's life over time, or in this case, like a group of people's life over time from like when they're children to, you know, how their story ends. And it was just fantastic. And I ended up, so for those of you who don't know, The Rules of Magic is a book by Alice Hoffman, and it is actually the prequel to her very famous book, Practical Magic, which they made a movie out of starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. So I didn't realize there was a relation between the books back when I first got it. I'm so glad I got to it. Like, it was just so lovely, and the descriptions are so lush, and there's just this fanciful quality to it. It is historical fiction, which out of all the genres, I feel like it's probably one of the genres I have to be really careful with, just because I don't tend to like a lot of historical fiction. But when I do, it's fantastic. So this one definitely fell in the boat of like the kind of historical fiction I really, really enjoy. It was just absolutely lovely, and it transports you in such a great way. But what it really does is focus in on the people, which to me, that's the way I prefer it in historical fiction. I feel like sometimes the focus is too much on what's happening in the era versus like how the people are surviving and thriving in the era, which to me is more interesting. I don't know, or thriving or not thriving. Like I don't know what the opposite of failing in that area, like whatever. But like that's what like how was their life affected by the things happening versus focusing on the things happening. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like that's how I view like the really good historical fiction I've read. Like that's the stuff that they have in common. I finished those two this week, even though Rules Magic wasn't on my Spookathon TBR. Like I'd started before Spookathon started, and every time I needed a break from it, that was the book I picked up. So like now I'm finished it. And now I've got Mapping the Interior. So it's my last Spookathon book, and then I'm gonna finish that up tonight and edit and post this video as like my Spookathon wrap up. I am hoping this is good. It's supposed to be literary horror, which I didn't know was even a genre, but I'm very intrigued. So I was correct. I never did a wrap up on Mapping the Interior. So Mapping the Interior definitely was creepy. And it is one of those books that I'm like, I need someone else to read this or someone who has read it to talk to me about their thoughts, because I have thoughts, but I feel like I can't articulate them until I'm talking to someone else. I don't know how to explain this. There's so many layers to the story, and there's so many different ways to unpack it. As of now, I've given it 3 stars, just for the simple fact that I feel like it is one of those books and is one of those stories that I've read in my life where once I have a chance to talk about it, all of a sudden it'll elevate by so much more in my mind. I've had so many books like that. I've had mostly plays that have been like that, where I don't think much of it, and then I get to discuss it in class, like when I was in like my race and gender class, or when I was taking like history of theater and stuff like that. Like I remember when we talk about the plays, when I'd be the most interested in the play, except for Medea, that was like my favorite play ever that I just like straight read, and I was like, oh, I love this. But yeah, like usually I need to have a opportunity to like talk about certain types of books. And this is one of those books that I feel like I need to chat with somebody about and like really go into. And I feel like you could study this book for all the meanings that are in it and all the things that it covers. I'm sorry, like my hair's like such a mess right now. I'm a woman of many faces, and most of them look like a hot mess, but some of them are less of a hot mess. So goals. I put it at 2 stars. I put Mapping the Interior at 3 stars. And I think I decided that my final rating for The Rules of Magic would be about 5 stars. I was so blown away by that book. It was definitely my favorite book of the week. And just, oh my gosh. Like, and I don't normally like historical fiction. And yet, it was wonderful. And I am so happy in my soul right now. And I bought the movie Practical Magic so I could watch that because it's October, and that's perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you guys have some of your best Stephen King recommendations, like books that you think that I would love that are Stephen King books, like let me know, and I'll make sure it's on my TBR for next year. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a great Spookathon, and don't forget to like this video if you liked what you saw, and then subscribe so you can see more. And I promise I'm gonna look less scary next time. Okay, I'm not gonna promise, because this is just my face. Like, there's very little I can do about it. But there are gonna be days where I make somewhat of an effort, so there's that, right? Bye, guys.